Happy days, everyone. I hope you're having a very good Monday, a very good start to your week. I am. I've had a fabulous weekend, and it's been a whole week or nearly a week since I posted something on YouTube. So I thought I'd give it a whirl. No time like the present. I'm having a good Monday, and I've got a little bit of spare time in between my Monday chores or my Monday tasks, and also one of my children is still in the big smoke, so I've got a little bit more privacy, a bit more time. Wow, what have I been up to? Over the weekend, I went to Auckland. I saw lots of friends and family. It was my mum's 70th birthday on Friday. We couldn't make it on the Friday, but my two younger children who live here with me came with me. My son took the day off work and we drove up early in the morning. We popped in to see a couple of relatives, drop off hot water bottles and heaters and that type of thing, and we picked up my mum. Took her to look for a puffer jacket. That's what she was after. She couldn't find what she wanted at Westgate, so we went on and had lunch. And my big son and his wife and my beautiful grandson joined us for lunch, as did my partner and his son from the far north. And we chose my mum wanted pizza, and I chose a place that had a few franchises in the big smoke. Looked up their reviews, checked their reviews, they were pretty good. Left both a phone call and an email, filled out an online form, and I didn't hear back, so I rang them. The guy couldn't be nice. He was so lovely. He apologised for not catching it on the answer phone, which, golly, I didn't mind in this day and age. Answer machines were a big thing when maybe, say, 20 years ago. We had one. I've had one that's been in a telephone base, and I've also had that one that you used to call back in the day. I think it was 083210, and then you would listen to the prompts and you could hear your new messages. That was such a palaver, honestly. The way we get our messages now on a cell phone is so much easier. Actually, in fact, I still do have an answer machine in my phone, but I don't often really check it because my landline really is just for extremely official business. I often give that kind of, entity my home line occasionally, and my friends and family. So if you're real tight and you're real close with me, you'll have my home line. So sometimes I might ignore my cell phone, but I never ignore my landline. So this guy set the table, and he got his staff to set it. So lovely. It had a little happy birthday Helen on the sign. It had a high chair for my grandson, although he doesn't sit in a high chair, but it had two squishy toys there as well, which he absolutely loved and kept him entertained. The staff were attentive, and the man who owned it, lovely guy, came over and greeted us, wished my mum happy birthday, a little bit of banter, and also offered her a drink. Would you like a glass of wine, a cocktail, something like that? And my mum just loves a good coffee, and that's what she wanted. She got exactly what she asked for: flat white, no fluff, trim milk, no sugar. And he was lovely. She ended up getting two, and we weren't charged for either one of them. The pizza was great. My mum had her pepperoni was a little bit hot for her. My mum didn't realise pepperoni is a hot thing, so she ended up having the mushroom pizza that was on offer, but there were big burgers. A couple of us had big burgers. I had with my grandson the meatballs. And the meatballs were flambe. That was kind of fancy. My grandson and I have been singing on top of spaghetti or covered with cheese, I lost my poor meatball. So we've been singing that solidly probably for about a month, since we were in Fiji recently for his mum and dad's wedding. And I haven't been able to find meatballs anywhere, but there were some on this menu. And that was actually one of the reasons that I chose that menu, because I thought, well, if my mum for her birthday wants to have pizza, we'll find someone with pasta and, think maybe meatballs and bolognese and that type of thing. And sure enough, they had meatballs. They were delicious. And what my little grandson wanted to do was try and sneeze on one to try and blow it off, because that's the line in the song.
I lost my poor meatball when somebody sneezed and then it rolled off the table and onto the floor, and so goes the song. But they were big, hefty meatballs, and it was funny because leading up to the event, I kept saying to little Kai, oh, we're going to order meatballs, Grandma's going to order meatballs for you, and he kept saying, I'm going to sneeze on them, Grandma, I'm going to sneeze on them and see if they'll roll off. And I was encouraging him in it, of course, but I thought to myself, I probably would not have condoned that when my children were little. I probably would have said, no, it's just a line in the song, we don't actually sneeze on meatballs, etc., etc. Which just goes to show how doolally you become when you're a grandparent. Some rules I'll stick with, but most of the rules that I raise my own children with, lines kind of get blurred. I mean, Grandma's big on manners, and especially not interrupting and saying excuse me, but I'm pretty relaxed about everything else. So he sneezed, his meatball didn't roll off, so we've made a little plan that when he comes to Grandma's house for Matariki, we're going to make meatballs together, because actually that week leading up to the dinner together, I'd made meatballs for my two children living here, and I'd made a little video for him to send through his dad. Look at Grandma rolling out meatballs, and then, shot of the pan and then frying, and then a shot right at the end of the meatballs with cheese on top. So now we have this plan. Now that it didn't work sneezing on the meatball because they were too big, we're gonna make small meatballs for Matariki when he comes to Matariki, and then we're gonna shape them like a diamond with one little meatball on the top, and we reckon that will work. That's our next plan and adventure for Matariki at Grandma's house. So it was wonderful. My mum had a really good time. She was struggling a little bit. She hadn't been very well for a couple of days, and she kind of had an aching chest. She's also deaf in one ear. She was born like that. My grandmother was very unwell when she was pregnant with my mum, which caused just a couple of, not defects, conditions when my mum was born, which my grandma didn't actually know about until my mum was about 6. I remember my grandmother saying to me that she felt really guilty when the school had finally tested Helen and came back that she was deaf in one ear, not necessarily naughty or didn't listen. My grandma used to think she didn't listen, but it was because she didn't hear. So my mum cooked really well in the restaurant. It was a little bit loud. Good Brothers in Westgate, Northwest. I highly recommend that place. The staff were phenomenal. They were so attentive, so helpful, so accommodating. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to give them a fantastic Google review. They asked for that when I thanked them very much. They asked if I'd do that. So I'm happy to. I tend to do a lot of Google reviews, actually. I did one of the car wash, the wash club in Hamilton. That is such a cool place to go. I have a lot of fun when I take my car there. And living in the country, we don't really have anything like that. And my driveway's like this. So, trying to wash a car and vacuum your car on a driveway that's like that, it's not much fun. So I enjoyed a bit more at a place where it's all set up with everything. I've got the vacuums, and you can wash it yourself. You can take it through the car wash. They're good people. So, as I say, I've been leaving a few Google reviews, and I think it's important. You don't just call someone to have a whinge. You also give credit where credit's due when a company or a person has gone out of their way and above and beyond. It's a good thing to let them know. So that was my Saturday, and then we drove, so then my eldest son took my mum back to her house, and they hung out with her for a few hours. My two younger children went off and explored the big city and caught up with friends and family, and I myself went up to Matakana to visit my very bestest, dearest, oldest friend. Not old as in we are getting old. I won't tell you how old she is, but old in that her and I have known each other since we were 7, and we've gotten into so many various scrapes and adventures and life circumstances, and oh my gosh, can you imagine? In our 50s now. So that was such a wonderful night. I hadn't seen her since January, around about my birthday. Boy, did we have a good time, and my partner came as well with his young lad. Keeping in mind he lives up north, so we'd only just caught up with each other for that day, and it was so lovely to hang out with my friend and her
her husband, oh my gosh, her husband, oh, they've been married for well over 20 years. We were asking about it, but together for that for a long time. Man, having friends like that is so special. And so we're very good friends with them. And she had a couple of other friends call in and out in the night. We watched their lads play rugby. Boy, those boys go hard up there. Hearty bunch of rugby boys. That was good fun. And catching up with her friends. She's got some really cool friends up there. So we had a fabulous time, and then I get it very early. We didn't go to bed till about 3 o'clock. Who knew we could stay up that late? I was impressed. I think I'd had about 2 energy drinks, about 4 coffees, a couple of orange juices, and a few chocolate bars to keep me going. I did well. And we got up the next morning, and my partner left to go back up north. I left first. I was heading back to the Big Smoke. I was taking my sons to St. Ben's. That's our family parish in the middle of the city. Not quite in the middle, but definitely in the CBD. Because I'm organising to get my son's first Holy Communion and confirmation done. They've both been baptised, but it was something that we didn't quite get around to. So I'm looking forward to getting that done. I go to St. Ben's every once in a while when I'm up in Auckland, but I hadn't taken my lads for a while, so that was actually a really beautiful way to spend Sunday morning. And then we went back to my lad's house and we hung out, a little bit of laughter, quality time, just hung out. My younger son had his guitar. He was strumming away and singing, and my little grandson it was really cool. It was just my lads and I and my grandson, so it was a really nice Sunday. And then we drove back home. Here. I think we got home maybe 2.5 hours. I had to have a little bit of a gas the car, and I had to shut my eyes for 20 minutes. I was pretty fatigued from the night before, but we got home in one piece. And now I'm about to start my day, start my week. I start a language course tonight, learning how to speak Samoan, or hopefully maybe even I'll remember some. And of course I've got Toastmasters, I've got a speech this week, I've got my radio show tomorrow, oncology hosting on Thursday, and I'm going to have Sunday off. So it's going to be a busy week, but I challenged myself to upload something every week, to not overthink it, not have a script or a program to follow, because we can't always follow a program. I was between going to the gym and cleaning my house and unpacking and getting set up for an afternoon on my table, on my desk, and then my course will start at 6. So I'm going to put my nose down and my ass up and hopefully get through this pile of stuff. But I just wanted to get on here and say hello and share a bit of my amazing weekend, and man, feeling very blessed and full up on the memory banks. Oh, I think I'm just about finished talking. I get a little bit froggy. So I hope whoever out there has watched this, I hope I've entertained you for a little while and shared with what I was doing. Please leave any comments, or hit a like if you want to. Hey, subscribe if you want to. It's free. And I'll keep posting content, and you just tell me what you want to hear or what you want to see, or, as I say in the Waikato Hospital when I'm helping out there, I say tea, coffee, water, song, dance, joke, smile. So yeah, let me know what you want to hear, what you want to see, and I'll keep posting. Thank you so much for sharing your time. Mā te wā.